Welcome to another episode of the Hot Seat Pod, brought to you by the Run the Play Network. I'm your host, Anthony. We got a great episode for you guys. We're doing a way too early betting prediction for the Super Bowl. At the time of this recording, betting lines aren't even out yet, boys. So I'm just going to give you guys straight vibes on what I think these dudes' lines are going to be at, and if you should go over and under, what I think the matchups are going to look like, what I think the sports books are going to do to kind of throw you guys off, throw you for a loop. But before we get to that, make sure to like, subscribe, and follow. Click to the links in the description to get to our Instagram, to get to our Twitter. I have our TikTok there, but I'm one of the victims of deleting TikTok too early, so I'm cooked. Spam an L in the chat, boys. My first bet, and I'm going to start off with a bang. I promise you. I feel the most confident about this one, sadly, but I'm taking Saquon Barkley's under, whatever it's at. Now, let's go talk about a couple things, right? First of all, I think the Chiefs defense has the players to stop the run. You got Nick Bolton, you got Chris Jones, you got George Karlaftis. So the edge is covered, the inside is covered, and the back line is covered. They have speedy corners like McDuffie who could go out there and kind of slow down those big plays. They're also a lot more disciplined than a lot of the teams we've seen Saquon run up and down against. And again, now when I say I'm gonna take the under on him, I'm not saying he's gonna have 0 yards. I think he's going to go out there and have a pretty decent game, but his line's probably going to be at 92, 93. He's probably going to have 80 yards. Chiefs are the favorite right now, so they're probably going to be up in the game. That means that the Eagles aren't going to be able to run the ball as much. It's going to be interesting for sure. The question you may have is, like, what about James Cook this week? James Cook had a great game against the Chiefs. If I am Andy Reid, and I'm not Andy Reid is much smarter than me, but because of that, he knows that you got to stop Saquon to beat this team. You need Jalen Hurts to feel the pressure and to feel like he's got to beat you, and you need him to make mistakes. Saquon Barkley isn't going to make mistakes, but if you could kind of stuff him at the line, make it hard for him, and make Jalen Hurts make those plays, then that's how they go out there and ball out. I think the options maybe, and this could go into another leg of betting, right? I think with this leg, you could take Kenneth Gainwell's under. You could take Will Shipley's under after his huge game. I don't think you should do that, honestly. But, I don't think they're going to be able to rush the ball against this team. I think another thing, part of this is you could take Jalen Hurts over on rushing yards because you're taking Saquon's under on rushing yards. They go hand in hand, and it's a great leg to base your parlay off of because when you're betting, you should never be betting, opposites. I'm not going to take Jalen Hurts over on passing yards, but A.J. Brown's under. That just doesn't make sense. That limits your bet. There's less of a possible outcome. So if you take Saquon's under, you could take Gainwell's under. You could take Hurts's over. You could add a lot of things to it, and it just makes a lot of sense. Let's go stay with that. And another player I'm taking the over on is Devontae Smith's over on fantasy points, whatever it's at. But last time the Eagles and the Chiefs met in the Super Bowl, Devontae Smith had over 100 yards. I think Saquon's going to have a down game, like I mentioned. And that doesn't mean they're going to avoid him, especially in the end zone. They're probably going to go to him. They'll probably go to the tush push. But Devontae Smith is going to be one of their end zone threats if Saquon is struggling to get in there, if he's struggling to get going. Because that's the thing with football, man. If your legs aren't going early, your legs, everyone else is warmed up, you're going to have to catch up to them. Devontae Smith's going to be running routes. He's going to be catching balls. He's going to be making plays. He doesn't have to get in the end zone to have a big game because we saw him have 100 yards last time they played. It's very interesting. I think Jalen Hurts could have a bad game or a good game, and Devontae Smith still could hit this total. Because if he has a bad game and just Devontae Smith finds his way in the end zone, I'm guessing his line's going to be at 12.5 fantasy points, 11.5 fantasy points. An end zone and 50 yards, that's really nothing. Plus the catches, plus whatever he gets. I think Devontae Smith could easily go over on fantasy points. So we got a Saquon under. We got a Devontae Smith over. Let me show you guys the best place to bet with Boom Fantasy.
Man, okay, LeBron hit my parlay. Let's get it.
Oh, shit, he hit it?
Yeah, bro. Look at this.
I won $200. I tailed your parlay.
How the heck did you win $200?
I used Boom Fantasy. I used their pick and spin, spun the wheel, got 10 times my money.
Bro, you gotta hook me up.
If you use code RTP, you could get a risk-free bet up to $100. Let's get back to the video. My favorite feature on Boom Fantasy is their pick and spin, where you take 2 legs, and those 2 legs can cash you out 500 times your money. It's pretty cool. So, obviously, you can't do 2 Eagles legs together, so let me give you a Chiefs leg to pair with either one of these. And my favorite one, I really think, is Travis Kelce's over whatever it is on anything you really want, because Ertz had a huge game against the Eagles. The Eagles linebackers are not great in coverage. Travis Kelce should eat Reed Blankenship, Gardner Johnson. If they put a cornerback on him, it's light work for Travis Kelce. I think Mahomes is going to play lights out in this game too. So they should be able to feed Travis Kelce pretty easily. Travis Kelce this week had 2 for 19 against Matt Milano. So it was a struggle, which means they're going to set the bar a little low for him. But Travis Kelce is the type of dude to have a good game, a bad game, a good game, a bad game. 2 weeks ago, he had 120 yards versus the Texans on 7 catches. So, like, he could definitely hit whatever over. I'm guessing it's going to be around 80 yards. And in the Super Bowl, not 80 yards, excuse me. I bet it's going to be around 45 yards. That's what I'm saying. 45 to 50 range. But I think he could go for 80 yards. Last time they met in the Super Bowl, he hit this total. And I feel like the Eagles linebackers were better last time they played. So I think, obviously, Kelce was better too. But I think Kelce's due for a big statement. Fuck you. I'm not a Taylor Swift boyfriend. I'm Travis fucking Kelce game. They don't have a matchup for him. My last bet is Patrick Mahomes under on interceptions. Now, in his last 9 playoff games, Patrick Mahomes has thrown 1 interception. Tom Brady has never had a stretch of this in his 20-year career. Isn't that crazy to put in perspective? Mahomes has done something in, 5-6 years that Tom Brady has never done in his career. It's pretty crazy. Pretty crazy to put into perspective. I don't think he turns the ball over. I think it's a bait kind of line if they have that line available, because the Eagles defense has been so hot. They're going to be like, oh, like, they're so hot, they're going to get Mahomes to fuck up. Mahomes don't fuck up, especially in the playoffs, man. He had that fumble this week, but he just plays lights out. And this year they have more options, which is a lot better, because you could make an interception by forcing it to Travis Kelce. You're not going to force it to Travis Kelce if you have Worthy, Hopkins, Hollywood Brown, all available to make plays. Like, he has a lot of dudes to dink and dump, and let's hope this guy makes a big play. He doesn't need to force feed Travis Kelce. So those are 4 legs I'm going to go with. But you guys let me know at home, what legs are you going to go with? What are you going to bet on? Make sure to like, subscribe, follow, but most importantly, run the play, baby.